welcome to Good Vibes Only. We've got Herman here today from Skip the Boat. Our vision is to normalize speaking out, reaching out, and asking for help with our values there: authenticity, compassion, and connectedness. Just want to say a huge thank you to Herman for jumping on tonight. We don't know you, but we're going to get to know you.
I'm excited. Thank you guys for having me as well. I appreciate that.
Sweet, bro. No worries. Should we dive straight into it and just have a bit of an intro to you, bro? Tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, where you grew up, all those kind of things.
Sure. So I'm Herman. I'm 23 years old. I kind of lived most of my life in Hamilton, New Zealand. Studied in Palmerston North for the past 3 years. Just always been super passionate about this underground music and fashion, I guess. So kind of just started doing all that.
Bro, I'm interested. I don't know this. It's just a random question. What nationality are you from? Where? Yeah.
My parents are actually Indian.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
You don't look Indian at all. No.
Everyone says that. Everyone says that.
It's not an insult or anything. It's just super like unexpected, I guess. That kind of sounds bad, I feel.
A little bit.
Unexpected. Nah.
Anyway, moving along.
Yeah.
Bro, tell us about Skip the Boat, how it came about, like what it means to you.
Basically, Skip the Boat originally started for the purpose of throwing underground music events, because I feel like in the country there's not many people that are supporting our local artists. And I really wanted it to be a platform for these kind of artists to grow in our own country and kind of create somewhat of a scene for them. Plus, I was just real passionate about this whole underground scene. So it started off as that, and that was kind of the purpose. And then COVID hit and I couldn't do shows, obviously. So I feel like everyone's kind of always wanted to start a clothing brand, you know what I mean? Even like high school and stuff, everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start a clothing brand. But like, yeah, so there was always that in the back of my head, and I was like, all right, well, COVID's a perfect time to kind of just start that and just see if that kind of has any potential. So I just started researching a bunch, and I just did it, and it started doing really well, and I really enjoyed it, which is the main thing. So clothing events, they kind of go hand in hand. I feel like music and fashion are quite intertwined. So yeah,
that's epic. Has it been quite a big learning curve for you though? Like, you know, obviously you said you started it on your own, so like learning all yourself. So has it come with a few hiccups and stuff like that?
Yeah. Originally it started with a friend of mine as well. When we did our first show, Bailey, and she dropped out of it kind of a few months in or so, just to kind of focus on school and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we were both kind of like new to it. And I mean, I'm still learning as I go now. I don't have, it's not like I've got a bunch of experience in events or anything. A lot of stuff that I do is just all kind of from previous mistakes or just like experiences where you learn. And I feel like the best way to kind of learn anything is just to do it. And then when you do it, you'll kind of learn as you go, because I feel like a lot of the time we just put things off because we're, oh, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to do that. But if you just go, all right, I'm fully invested in it, I'm just gonna like learn as I go, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least you tried. So
100% learning on the job, eh?
Yeah, 100%. That's a bit of what we've done too, bro. We were just talking about it at the start of this lockdown, and then we just like jump straight in, bro. Like we'll learn as we go, and I think that's the best way to learn, eh? Do you have any like funny stories of? Well, I guess you could probably laugh at it now, probably not funny at the time. But is there any like hiccups that you've had along the way that you can find real funny now?
Ooh. There's been a lot of hiccups, a lot.
But not funny. No.
Oh, well, like, I mean, I guess they would be funny, but at the time it was just like, you know, it was more just like, damn, like, what have I just done?
Yeah.
But I mean, there was small stuff where it was just like terminology and stuff. I remember when we were doing our first gig, and you know, I had no clue about anything, what kind of equipment is used or anything. It was kind of just like, all right, all I know is that I want to throw a gig, I want to have artists up on the stage performing. And then the venue guy was kind of talking about real specific equipment and software and everything.
Yeah.
And I just nodded like I knew exactly what he was talking about to kind of sell it. I was like, yeah, like don't worry, we'll get that sorted. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got home, I jumped on my computer and researched every single thing he said. Because I mean, it was kind of important to like sell it to him that I knew what I was doing, because I was real keen to use the venue and I didn't want to sound like a complete like, you know, idiot. I was just like, yo, I'm gonna do a show here.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yep, you know, I got you. And then I got home, Googled everything and tried to kind of piece it all together.
Fake it till you make it, bro.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Did you have all the equipment in the end?
In the end, we did, which is awesome.
Nice.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, I did my research, I spoke to the right kind of people,
Yeah.
and it all worked out. So that's good.
But I'm probably one that is way too honest all the time. So like, if I ever got in that situation, I would just be like, I have no idea what you're saying.
It's true. Christian does that.
I think it doesn't work in my favor quite often, like especially in a professional environment or like a work environment. People are just like, are you serious? You just said that. Like, just pretend. But I'm real interested to hear a bit more about the Make-A-Wish drop and like what kind of motivated you to do that in the first instance, like that specifically.
So the one for the Make-A-Wish, which is actually this shirt right here, I got it on. Yeah,
It's a nice
from me to you, I hope your dreams come true. Super, super simple. What inspired it? All right, there's a few kind of components. So with the actual kind of like design and like the meaning of it is when I was first kind of selling clothing and stuff, I would write everyone like notes, and every single time I would sign it off saying, from me to you, I hope your dreams come true. I don't know why, I just kind of came up with it and I was like, oh, it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that.
And then I thought, I was like, yo, like this could kind of be cool on a t-shirt. So that's how like that kind of phrase came about. But the idea behind it was, I feel like in New Zealand there's a lot of negativity, well, just in the world in general, but you see a lot in New Zealand with tall poppy syndrome, where you know what I mean, you know, it's just it's quite toxic, and I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's got to be like that, because I want everyone to kind of win, you know. And people have this very toxic mindset of like, all right, it's either me or you. Like either I'm at the top or you're at the top. It can't be both of us, which makes no sense to me. Like my kind of biggest goal with everything I do right now is to prove to people that you can win without it having to be so cutthroat. You know, there's enough space for everyone to be winning and at the top. Like there's an endless demand for music and fashion and everything. That's why I thought by doing this drop, it would kind of inspire other people to kind of have a more open mindset and spread positivity. Yeah.
Good vibes. No.
Good vibes. Good vibes only.
What a statement piece though. Like I really like that. Like you're, from me to you, like you're actually wishing someone's dreams to come true. That's a very powerful statement. Like for me anyway, like the way I see it, it's like you're actually believing in someone, even though you may not know them personally, or even if you do know them personally, like it's still a glimmer of hope for those that may not have it, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes that's all that they need, you know? You know, like there's been times where like people are like on the verge of like chasing their dreams or not, but they're like, oh, like, you know, what do I do? Like, you know, do I do it or not? And then, you know, if someone gives you a bit of hope, that's kind of all you need to kind of push it that way. Like I've got a note here from the person. I won't read it fully, but there's a few notes there. And these people are kind of just people that wrote to me and they said, all right, that drop kind of inspired me to do a lot better in my life. And that meant so much to me, because if it's impacting one person, like I've done my job. Like I'm happy with that, you know what I mean? And if just that kind of phrase or this thing can inspire like someone to go chase their dreams or just do better in their life, and that's like the coolest thing. Like what else can you ask for? You know what I mean? Like knowing that someone saw my design and it's like, all right, I'm gonna go chase my dreams. Like I don't know, to me that's just the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah,
so
hard.
Yeah, and then that's like similar to us, Christian. Like our intention is to like make a difference in someone else's life, even if it's just one. I think that both Christian and I have done job right. And it's all about like small things. Like those small things can actually add up to really big things, and to actually believing in people. So that's why I guess we kind of encouraging people to reach out and speak up and ask for help as well, because you never know who may help you in the end.
Exactly. And I feel like it's kind of like a domino effect. If you inspire one person, maybe they're going to go inspire another,
100%.
and it's just going to go and go and go. And it started from one small thing, but it could be something that is so much bigger that you don't even like know of, that it's just this positivity,
that pay it forward concept there, you
exactly.
inspire one person and then it's just like boom.
Boom. Just like that.
But I think like, for us, the biggest thing that we've just focused on is being authentic, bro. At the end of the day, if we remain true to ourselves, then I don't care about like the viewership. I don't care about like,
100%.
making money, like obviously at the end of the day, we're raising money for something else. It's not really for ourselves, and I'm sure you're the same. Like just be authentic. If it's real, it'll make waves, bro.
Yeah, what's real will always prosper, and I truly believe that. There's too many people that are in it for like the wrong reasons, that fake it till you make it, I guess. But those that are truly creating the art for the sole purpose of creating that art are the ones that are truly going to get what they deserve in the end. Like you can fake it for as long as you want, and it might lead to a bit of success, or you might be popping for a bit, but how long is that really going to last? Whereas if you're authentic and you keep it as real as possible and you're true to yourself, people can see that and people want to support that. So
no, I really like what you said just now, and also you said a bit earlier when we talked, but just like when you are authentic to people and to yourself as well, that people will naturally gravitate to you or will follow you because of your authenticity, which is really important. And even if you're only making a difference to one or two people, the most important thing is that you're being authentic to yourself and to your own vision. And people will follow you no matter, as long as you're authentic, right?
Definitely. Couldn't agree more. 100%.
Bro, tell us a little bit about the notes that you write for everyone, because I think that's a really cool part of what you do. Just tell us a bit about that.
I saw it as an opportunity to kind of like, all right, if someone's buying something from me, like, that's awesome and I appreciate that so much. But if I'm sending them something, like, why would I pass up on this opportunity where I can directly speak to someone and kind of possibly impact their life, or even just put a smile on their face, so I would handwrite. I started off doing big pieces of paper, like full pages, and I would write down everything in my mind, like every single person I purchased. And then as time went on, it slowly got to smaller and smaller pieces of paper. And then with this last drop, I finally realized it just wasn't sustainable to handwrite every single note. So I wrote down what I wanted to say and I kind of photocopied it, which I was real hesitant to do for the longest time. And all my friends were telling me, like, what are you doing? Just like photocopy. And I was like, no, but I want them to know it's authentic and it's from me to them. Like it's my own like pen to paper. But it came to a point where I was like, all right, if I'm doing this and I've got 1,000+ orders to fulfill, these people are going to be waiting months for their t-shirt, and then that note is going to mean nothing to them. But it was always this idea of, all right, this is an opportunity for me to actually speak to this person, and people appreciate that. Even if it's just a small note that says, hey, thank you, I appreciate your support. That's still meaningful to someone. But that's it. So that was kind of like the idea behind it, and I just find it so important. Like even now, I mean, even though I have to like photocopy them sometimes, I still do my best to send them something where I can just thank them or kind of inspire them or say what I want to say to them.
I think it's still powerful, bro. Even if it's
100%.
photocopied, man. Like it's from you, it's from the heart. Like
for sure.
People can't really shit on that. Like
I think it's also like a point of difference as well. I don't know many companies or brands that send a personalized message, and obviously it's working too. Like people are actually sending you cards as well, like to thank you for giving them the inspiration to continue with their dreams.
Yeah, true. And I never really thought about it like in that sense, where like you know, if they've sent me a card, I keep it on my desk and I read it all the time.
Yes,
because it means so much to me. It's like, I mean, in a way, yeah, I guess like by sending it to them, it is something that's very meaningful and it doesn't go unnoticed in a way. Yeah, no, it's just, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's really cool. I love it.
Notes are so powerful, bro. Like, I don't know. I remember, Ethan, should we talk about the Kairos letters? That was deep. We probably shouldn't. Okay, I already.
Now we might have some St. Peter's boys that watch it, so
I already ruined it. But I'll just talk about a time.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically we're back at high school and we were on this like retreat thing, and this is probably the most powerful thing that has ever happened to me, bro. Like, we're all sitting in the same room. It's like a room full of 30 boys, and yeah, we're just all sitting in the same room, and then suddenly, like, all the teachers that were there with us are just sitting along the front, and just one at a time, they just start reading, bro. And like, I think my one was like the first one, bro. And they just started reading this letter from my mum, bro. And honestly, it was just like in front of everyone, and I was just like, holy shit. And like, no one couldn't cry, bro. Like, everyone was trying to stay strong, and it was intense as, man. And it was just like moving, bro. That still sits with me to this day, man.
Yeah, like, wow, do you want to give a bit of context about like the actual content of the letter, or
I mean,
not like fully, but just, I mean, like a brief overview, because it just sounds like a letter.
Nah, yeah. So it was just basically my mum saying, "Oh, you're gonna make me fucking get sad, bro."
Bro, hit us with the feels.
Nah, just basically that, you know, she has always believed in me. This is an amazing experience for me. You know, she just believes that I'm gonna make it, I guess. And you know, all those times that when I was younger where I thought shit was too hard and I couldn't carry on, like, she has always been sitting there knowing that at the end of the day I'm gonna be like on top of the world, bro. So made me feel on top of the world, you know?
That's wholesome. That's real wholesome.
Bro. It was pretty deep, but yeah, was crying for ages.
Same. I still got my letters under my bed.
Yes.
That's how much it,
just pull it out and have a fat cry, like straight up. But yeah, and that's what you're doing for these people, bro.
The power of words, huh? It's crazy,
bro. Totally. Well, they say that the pen is mightier than the sword, so
I like that.
So bro, tell us about like how like you're donating to charities now, because you got a drop for I Am Hope, at the moment.
So I think I've done 4 total, and the first one was last year. It was kind of when the whole Black Lives Matter thing was going on, and it was to kind of end police violence. I think the charity was called Campaign Zero, and we raised $100, which at the time to me I was like, yo, $100, that's sick, and I was super proud of it. And then the next one was the one for this, where it was for Make-A-Wish, and that was a total of $750. And then a few months ago, we did our Free Palestine t-shirts and raised $1,500, which was super cool. And that was for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. And then the latest one was the I Am Hope one, where I think it was a total of 8,000 exactly. I think it was a bit less, but I kind of just rounded it up because 8,000 sounds a lot better than 7,984.
That's impressive. Far out, bro.
But I mean, it was everyone that supported it, to be fair. You know, they're the ones that did it, so you know, it's full credit to them. There was a lot of people that would buy it, but they would also donate on top of that. And yeah, because my original goal for that drop was only 5,000. And at the time I was like, 5,000 sounds like a lot. Like, that's a big jump from like 1.5. Like, I don't know. But I was like, yo, like I might as well like aim super, super high. And then
My
if I
God.
reach it, it will just be like the best feeling. But not only did we reach it, we
Smashed it.
yeah, we absolutely, it was just I honestly I couldn't believe it. Just that amount of support. But I guess that's kind of what happens when there's a good cause and people want to come together for it. And that's exactly what they did. And even now, people, you know, are still trying to spread the message, which is like the other big thing about the drop. It wasn't just about donating X amount of dollars to a charity. It was more so about pushing this idea and this message to give people hope that, you know, to push through with full faith that it will get better. You know, I know a lot of people that have gone through rough times, and it's tough when you're in them because you kind of can't see like the light at the end because you're so deeply involved in it. But if that message is spread with everyone supporting and wearing these t-shirts, and it gives one person hope to push through, the whole project was a massive success to me. So yeah,
that's
awesome.
epic, bro. And honestly, all props to you for like putting that together and getting off the ground. I know you want to shift a bit of props to other people, but bro, epic work, man.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit about what motivated it though, bro. Like, is it something that really connects with you? I know you were saying before you were like astounded by the suicide statistics and stuff like that, but is there something more to that story, or is it just that?
It was mainly just from that kind of shock of like, wow, like in this country it's bad, you know. Simply put, it's not good. And that really took me by surprise when I started like really diving deep into it, because it just goes completely unnoticed and it doesn't get the attention it deserves, where mental health is so important. You know, people don't really give it like this, you know, like if you see someone that's like physically hurt, you're like, yo, that's messed up. If someone's mentally hurt, you know, they'll be all right. Especially over here, I feel like, oh, you know, it's all right, come on, like you'll be fine. But no, like it needs to be treated a lot more, because if you look at the numbers, it's terrifying. Honestly, it is. And we need a system where we can actually support these people that are going through something. And that was kind of the motive, where I was like, all right, we have to do something, even if it's small. There needs to be a spark or like a direction where we push it, and we're slowly getting to something where we should be at. That was the main motive for me personally in my life. I mean, I don't know, I always find it difficult to speak about, like it's tough because like I feel like everyone's kind of going through stuff, and it's like at which point, like I don't know, it's difficult. But I mean, I'm blessed about my life. I'm blessed with everything I do. I'm stressed a lot of the time, but I enjoy it, so I can't complain. But the biggest motive was definitely this idea of, all right, like I've seen these stats, and when you see the stats, you can't just turn a blind eye to it. Like you kind of have to do something. Like you kind of feel, you know, obliged to like make some kind of change in it, you know.
What do you feel is the biggest like contributor then? What's your opinion on that? Yeah,
that's so tough, because I feel like there's so much there, like it's tough to like pin it down to one thing. You see it a lot with young people, and I think social media plays a big part in that. It's just I think it's this comparison that we constantly are dealing with on social media, where it's constantly like, all right, we're seeing all this kind of stuff, and every single day we're consuming it, and it's not good for us, but we continue to crave it and consume it. And I did a drop ages ago where it kind of spoke about that. It was this idea of like ignorance is bliss, where this craving to see stuff on social media, which we know is just gonna like make us feel shit, but we still want to keep doing it. And it was this design here on a hoodie. So it's like a smiley face without eyes.
Yeah.
And it really stuck with me because it's this whole idea of like, all right, like what you can't see can't hurt you. So stop like purposely like putting yourself into an environment if you know when you see this kind of stuff, it's only going to bring you down. But it's tough. Yeah, I mean, I would say social media definitely has a big part on it, but there's also a million other things that contribute, you know.
Bro, I was watching this podcast, TED Talk, I think, yesterday. But this guy called Peter Sage, and he was talking about, it's that point about how social media, media in general, all these kind of things that are being fed to us are like really negative. So he gave like 3 solutions, I guess, or his 3 little rules to it were like, stop putting the wrong things in. So stop going out there and searching for the wrong stuff on social media that's bringing you down, or going and listening to the news. He said he hasn't watched the news in like 18 years, bro, which is like crazy. And then start putting the right things in. So obviously, like, if you're going to go on social media, start searching up motivational shit, or like things that are going to pick you up when you're feeling down. And then the last thing he said was get the things that shouldn't be there out. So throw out those bad habits, start replacing them with good stuff, bro. But yeah.
And you know what the hardest thing is? It's with social media and the algorithm, where if you start looking at stuff that is kind of depressing, it sucks you in, because that's what constantly is going to pop up on your feed. It's just going to be like, all right, like now that I've even just had a taste of it, I'm fully consumed by it. And to break out of that, it's difficult. And then at that point, when that's all that's popping up on your feed, that's what you kind of perceive the world to be. Like, all right, it's just bad. It's just bad. It's bad. It's bad. But if you're consuming good, positive content, that stuff pops up more. And then, you know, it can change your outlook. And I'm a big believer of your kind of perspective is everything, you know. Anything bad can be turned into something good if you look at it the right way. And vice versa. So how you deal with it mentally, and your perspective that you have on things in life, it changes everything. It really does.
Hard.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what Good Vibes Only is we kind of get people on to talk about their struggles and kind of turn it into a good vibe. Because you know, good things do come out of it. It builds resilience. It just becomes a lot easier, I think, well, for myself anyway, the more you talk about it. And you know, you grow like armor in a sense to life, because life throws you some curveballs. And we just adapt as humans, and grow that armor. But I really like that design of the smiley face with no eyes, and it makes sense to me. Like, I really resonate with it. Like what you can't see like won't hurt you. And just being like self-aware to know that too. Like, people, I think, generally look at social media and they don't know that they're being consumed, even though they are. So it's just that having that self-awareness and, you know, not exposing yourself to like toxic environments is so important for your mental health, I feel.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. Even going back to the whole idea of perspective, I was just going to say, like, my whole like the brand that I have was founded off something negative that I kind of just flipped. And I was like, all right, like, I'm in a shit spot, but I'm not going to let that affect me. I'm going to try and do my best to kind of turn it upside down and turn it into something amazing. And that's kind of exactly what it did. And it's kind of put me to a point where I've never been prouder of myself because of it. So this idea of just being able to shift your mindset instead of constantly thinking, negatively, and just consuming, it comes to a point where you kind of have to control your thoughts, because it can get so out of hand where you start to think bad and then a million other bad ideas pop in your head. And then it's just a vicious cycle of just being stuck in that. So it's being able to have the power to just shift it and say, all right, it's bad now, but I'm still going to try to find the good in it and create something beautiful out of something bad.
Because it's crazy how empowering it is once you realize, like, you're in the driver's seat, bro. Like, you can literally rewrite your destiny, bro. Like, And that sounds deep as shit, but like you are in the driver's seat, you've got the fucking chalk, you're like, or you've got the paver or whatever, you're paving your way, bro. Like it's all you. Like
it is. No, it's crazy because I feel like when you find that out and when you realize it, you can kind of do anything. You know, when you figure out that your whole future is in your hands. You know, anything that you choose to do, you can do. And so many people, as I feel, are just stuck in this passenger seat mode, where it's like, oh, you know, whatever happens in life happens. I'm not going to deal with it. You know, it's going to figure itself out. And a lot of the time, yeah, I get that because, you know, I believe everything happens for a reason, but I also believe we have the power to kind of do anything we want in this world if we truly work for it and we put in the effort. You know, good things happen to people that truly are after it and they work hard for it. And that's the difference, because so many people will say, yo, I really, you know, I want to start a clothing brand. I'm gonna start a clothing brand. And they'll say that, but they won't put in any work, and they're expecting it to just happen. And even if they put in the work, they'll see one, like, all right, I only sold 2 shirts. I'm done. It's just not going to work. And that's just not, I don't know. I feel like you have to be consistent with the work that you do. And you just have to trust the process that, look, all right, it's slow now, but it's going to take off. It's going to take off, you know?
Bro, I really resonate with what you just said, especially around everything happens for a reason. We were actually just talking about that last night, Christian. But also like staying true to yourself and like, you know, things can happen if you want it to happen. You just have to be willing to put in that work. And I do feel like sometimes people give up really easy when they don't see the results. But for me anyway, it's like I'm training for the Auckland Marathon at the moment. And if I could only like run, like when I first started, I could only run like 1K, if that. Imagine if I gave up then, I wouldn't be able to make the 42. And then I think, yeah, for my 24th birthday, decided to gift myself with running a 30K run. But that over time just built up like small things, 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, a lot of hours, a lot of, you know, dedication put into that. But if you really want it, like you can actually make it happen. Like I never saw myself actually running 30 kilometers.
One step at a time, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And run the marathon, not a sprint, guys. Come on.
Bro, this is random as, but I was watching this like Greek thing about history last night. And the story of the first marathon, or where the marathon comes from, is like crazy. So it's like this Greek guy called like Pleiadipides or something like that.
Oh, I've heard this. Yeah.
He runs from Marathon to Sparta to try. The Persians are attacking, and he's like trying to ask the Spartans for help. So, bro, this dude runs like there and back. So 2 marathons, like what is it, 84 Ks then? And then he comes back, and when he got there, bro, Sparta's like, nah, bro, we're having a celebration, like wait 4 days. And then so they fight, and then they win, and then he runs back to tell them, and then he dies.
Yeah, I heard that.
So
Doesn't he?
3 marathons.
Yeah.
Naked. Just throw that in there.
Wow.
Oh, funny. Bro, tell us about like struggles that you've dealt with growing up, or even with the brand, just in general, man. What kind of struggles have you been
For sure
dealing with?
Oh, there's been a lot. Where do I even start, to be honest? In terms of like the brand and the business side, or just personal, or just kind of anything, or
anything that comes on top. Like I'd be keen to hear both perspectives, like personal and business, but whatever comes on top for you, bro.
One of the biggest things, and this kind of stuff pops up a lot in the clothing designs I do, because a lot of the clothing I do is heavily inspired by it. So it was, I need to get I'm terrible at like dates and time, but basically, when I broke up with my ex, it was just this idea of, all right, like what do I do? I was down. I was down. I was real down. And then I told myself, I was like, all right, I need to stay busy. I need to keep thinking of things to do and just stay busy. And that's kind of where the brand kind of started, where it was summer. I wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to stay as busy as possible. So I was like, all right, I've talked about doing events for like the longest time. There's not anything really holding me back now. Why not just throw events and just see how I go? So it was this idea of turning a negative situation into something very, very positive. And then I found with the clothing, the way I do my clothing, I feel like I explain it best when I say my clothing is like wearable stories. Because instead of putting out a piece of clothing that has a cool design and looks cool, I really try to tell a story with each piece I make. And sometimes people are able to understand that story. Sometimes it's a lot deeper where you kind of have to like dive into it, or otherwise people can relate their own stories to that story, which I think is a cool thing. But a lot of my clothing was telling stories about this kind of breakup and turning it from something bad to something good. And it followed this trend constantly with the original clothing, where I was just like, all right, I want to share a story about this, or I want to share about a time where I thought about this. And I feel like it's a lot easier to sell a story than to sell a t-shirt.
So true.
So I would create these t-shirts and I would shoot commercial videos for them. And when I say that, I mean, I would grab either like my phone or a camera and get a friend to film me, or I'd film them in the t-shirt. And then I would speak over the video and try to tell a cool story. It wasn't anything high budget with a big team. It was super low budget stuff, and it still is super low budget stuff. But again, that low budget stuff is real, it's authentic, and people can relate to it. So yeah, it was just this idea of, all right, I'm going to use clothing as a way to kind of express myself. I don't know, I feel like in me as a person, I don't really talk about any of like my problems. I find it a lot easier to kind of put it out through my clothing. So if I'm experiencing something at a certain time, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna whip up a design, I'm gonna put it on a t-shirt, I'm gonna tell the story through this t-shirt. And that's also why with a lot of my designs, it's things where, all right, I'm gonna drop it for 3 days only, or I'm only gonna drop 50 of them, and then after that they're gone forever, because I want people to buy it at that time if they can relate to it and they're feeling that way. Because as people, our thoughts are constantly changing, and I'm not going to feel the same as I was feeling yesterday, or I'm not going to feel the same as I was feeling for 4 or 5 months ago. So it was, if you got this piece at that time, you were sharing a thought and a feeling with me at that time. Yeah,
that's deep, bro. And I think you caught on to something there. The golden nugget of that was like doing something authentically, obviously, but telling a story behind it, bro, and expressing yourself through it. And people have connected with that, bro. So I think for everyone wanting to do similar things, that's the key to your success. Theirs might be a little bit different, but
100%.
That is real cool to hear, bro.
And I mean, everyone's got their own stories. So if you have a story that you want to share to the world, put it out. Like someone out there is going to be able to relate. I feel like we're never alone in our thoughts, although it may seem like we are. There's always someone that can relate to how you're feeling. Like, I mean, there's 7 billion people on the earth. You're telling me there's no one else that has experienced the same kind of heartbreak or phase in life that I have. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, the clothing stuff was always created with that kind of purpose, where it's more for me as an outlet, instead of as in like, all right, I'm gonna chuck 1,000 of these shirts out, make $1 million and then dip. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, all right, I find this the best way to kind of express myself and tell my stories. And some of my favorite drops I've ever done were ones that did terrible. The ones that would barely sell, or they'd sell super slow. I still find them to be my favorite pieces because they shared a story that was so important to me. So again, it's I don't know, for me, success isn't defined by how well, the response is. It's whether I'm happy with it. And I think too many people get caught up on that, where they'll see that, oh, I didn't get 50 likes on my post, so it means that my art isn't valid. But no, that's wrong. Like, your art is valid if it's right for you, and if that's what you were trying to portray.
Yeah, how do you deal with that, bro? Like, I would imagine, like, especially a clothing brand having a favorite piece of art, and then it not doing as well as others that you, I guess, have. I mean, I would say that the ones that you like the most are probably the ones you invested the most time in, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure. And then that not doing as well as maybe something you've invested way less time in and don't like it as much. And that one just doing way better.
Yeah. I think at times I struggle with it, but I slowly came to terms where I was like, all right, I'm not gonna seek validation through other people and what they think of my art. Because the second I do that is the second I start creating my art for other people. And it's never meant for that, the stuff I put out was always just an expression of my thoughts and my stories. And if I'm putting stuff out, I feel like I'd be selling out if I was putting out a design because I knew it would sell well, but I didn't truly believe in it. I'm not going to go make a t-shirt about stupid shit if I just don't believe in it. Like, it's got to be something that I truly believe in, and then whether it does well or not, that's irrelevant. At the end of, like, I want to wear that t-shirt with pride, and I'm not going to wear it with pride if I know that it's not real and authentic to me.
That's epic, bro. On that note, what would you say is your proudest moment so far? Like, personally or within Skip the Boat, wherever you want to go on that one, bro.
The proudest moment? It's tough because there's been events and stuff where I remember being there and I remember just seeing everyone there and I'm like, yo, like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, this is, a room full of people that are smiling and having a good time, and I put it together and I'm like, yo, this is cool. Like, this is truly like the start of something. But I'd probably say so I got a billboard for this shirt here, and it was up in Hamilton, Wanganui. It was a few places. Yeah,
that's actually me. Holy
yeah, no, I would have never thought that I would have a billboard. But seeing it for the first time, that I was like, wow, like, there's a billboard that says like this thing right here. I hope all your dreams come true. And people are going to see that as they drive by, and that's going to have some kind of impact on them. And I think that's kind of when I was like, whoa, like, this is so much more than just like a brand. Like, this is like, it feels like it's a movement. And just seeing that in real life, like standing under that billboard and seeing it flick over to that design, I was just like, this isn't real. You know what I mean? This isn't real, but it is real, and it's just the coolest feeling.
Do you feel like life's a movie right now, bro? Like, especially because obviously, we were saying before, you went from, like, I wouldn't say a small following, it was still a mad following when we first started following you, to where you are now, bro. Like, does life feel like a movie right now, bro?
Like, this is the issue, because it does, but I don't appreciate it. I feel like I'm so caught up in constantly trying to build it and grow it and working every single day that I'm not taking the time to just sit back and be like, whoa, like, hold on, like, I'm living my dream life right now. Like, I've wanted this so bad and now I have it, but I'm so caught up in it that I'm not taking the time to appreciate it, which is something I'm trying to deal with a lot more. So I'm trying to take time out where I just thinking like, all right, hold on, like, just think about where I am right now. Like, I get to wake up and work on this passion project of mine every single day. But when you're in it, you're just so focused on the next thing. Like, my mind is just like racing, thinking like, all right, like, I got this coming up. I can't wait to share this. It's just this excitement of like, all right, it's great, but you're always chasing something more. You know what I mean?
That's epic, bro.
It's just a never-ending like race and cycle of just constantly wanting more. But I think it's important to be able to sit back and be like, all right, hold on, like this is something special right here. So I'm slowly trying to get better and better at that.
Wow, that's good to hear that you're slowly starting to get there, because yeah, man, you're doing some awesome work, bro. Like,
thank you, appreciate
that's
that.
crazy. And it's just like you're just, I guess, progressing more and more. Like, started with $100 and then $750, 1,100, and then up to $8,000, man. That's huge.
It's crazy. It is. And yeah, I'm blessed for that, and I appreciate that so much. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Bro, tell us about like struggles that you've dealt with, and before you had the brand, to be able to, you know, put all your I guess struggles into making a t-shirt. But what was life like before the brand and before the t-shirt making?
The life before the brand, it was a phase of just being lost, confused. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. It was this idea of like, I'm going through the motion, but where am I actually heading towards? And it felt like that for a long time. Because I remember when I finished high school, a lot of my friends and stuff were all going off to study, and they were doing things, and they kind of had everything sorted. And for me, it was like I took 2 years off because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I finally decided, all right, I want to go study sports management at uni. I went into that. Turns out I didn't really enjoy it. I mean, I still stuck with it, but turns out I was, you know, at that point, I was like, all right, sweet. Like, I finally got a story. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be like a sport manager. I'm going to be at these stadiums and all this stuff. I was like, this is a dream. And then I was like, nah, that's not really the dream. Like, that's not really what I want. And then I felt like I was back at square one. I was like, all right, so what do I want? And then thankfully, just by chance of me doing that one event, I was like, this is what I want. And I was like, this is so enjoyable to me. And it may seem super unrealistic at this point, because I'm a guy that has no clue about anything about events. I don't know anything, but I enjoy doing it. And I believe if you're truly passionate about something, you can find a way to monetize it. So I stuck with it, and people started to support it. There was a demand for it, and it kind of led me to doing what I love. So being lost to finally figuring out what I want. And now that I know that, I feel like my path is just aligned, and yeah, it's a lot easier.
At times, have you, like, I don't know, because this is kind of how I was feeling today. I'll just let you in on a little bit of my world. Like the last, month and a half, 2 months, we've been grinding on this, and it's been so much fun. And like, I feel so blessed to be like talking to all these cool people and like doing all these cool things and, you know, selling merch, blah, blah, blah. But today, bro, it just hit me, and I'm like, I just feel drained, bro. Like, I was putting all my passion into it, and then today I just feel like crazy drained. Do you ever go through those waves, or have you been through those waves with the brand recently, or
all the time? Yeah. All the time. I feel like I'm in one right now. Yeah, all the time. And I haven't figured out how to fix it, in all honesty. I haven't. But I'm stuck in this zone. Well, I was posting every single day on the Instagram for over a year, and technically I still am. I took 1 day off like a month ago, because I was like, all right, this is too much. Like, I'm just gonna take 1 day off. And that was kind of like, all right, that's my day to take a break. And I thought, all right, a day off, I just won't think about the brand. But in the back of my head, my mind is still going, brand, like, what's next? So it's tough. I'm kind of like going through that now. I'm trying to take days where, all right, I'm just going to go out for a walk today, clear my mind. You know, just 30 minutes of a day where I just don't try to think of the brand. I just go on a walk, clear my thoughts, which I think is so important, because, you know, when you get to that point of burnout, it can be quite bad, because at the end of the day, you got to remember that your mental health is the most important thing. And you know, as passionate as you may be about what you're doing, your priority should always be your health. And if it's affecting your health, sometimes the best thing to do is just like step back and then come back with a fresh mind, because that's kind of when ideas truly prosper, you know, when your ideas are fresh and you can kind of think clearly. But yeah.
What kind of things do you do, bro, to kind of look after yourself or to kind of de-stress in those stressful situations, especially now owning a brand and a clothing business? I would imagine that's quite stressful.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just taking these walks. That's kind of like the buzz I've been on lately, especially with lockdown where you can't really go out and do too much. So it's just been, all right, I'm gonna go for a walk around my like neighborhood and try to clear my mind. Yeah, honestly, yeah, no, see, it's tough because I like, you know, I'm gonna be completely honest, like I haven't figured that out. You know, I feel like I'm going through that now, where I'm under so much stress, for no reason as well. It's not like people are relying on me to do anything. It's just I feel like I'm always going to be my toughest kind of critic, you know. And I'm constantly like wanting to push myself further and further. So it's me putting on that stress on myself. But I do need to figure out how I can, you know, take it easy, because at the end of the day, what's the point of going through all this if you're just going to be left with all this amount of stress and you can't actually enjoy what you've done? Yeah, so I mean, if you guys have any tips and stuff on that, hit me with it. I'll definitely use it.
Yeah, what about you, Christian? What helps you to de-stress? Or
I think we've talked about this in earlier podcasts, like our first one, I think, with Julius. I find, like, for me, have you ever heard of Te Whare Tapa Whā, bro? This is just like, so it's a Māori mental health model. So basically it takes, it says that there's 4 cornerstones of your mental health. So there's whānau is one of them, spirituality is one of them. What are the other 2, Ethan? Help me out.
Physical, and then mental well-being.
And then mental, yeah. So there's 4 cornerstones, and then there's another one which is like connection to whenua or land or nature. So, but that's a bit of a weird one. So I did this thing where I and when I say weird, I don't mean it's weird. It's just like
it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, or it's not one that they actually include in the 4 cornerstones. They say 4 cornerstones, but there's like a 5th thing. So one of the things I always like to do is like step back and think about those 4 facets, bro. So like when I've been at my happiest, what have I been doing in the mental health quadrant, or the physical health quadrant, or the whānau quadrant? So like for me, I noticed when I was at my happiest, it was with whānau back at home, disconnected from like social media and stuff like that. So that was that quadrant. And then it was like for physical health, it was just little things, bro, like continuously going to the gym, or like, you know, having a routine with it. Because bro, I thrive off routines, man. Like just making those little goals for myself every day, ticking those 3 boxes, like smallest things. And then spiritual, it's like you said, bro, going for a walk, going out into nature, connecting with it, bro, instead of going through life how we do, just not noticing things, bro. That whenever I get into that zone, I'm like, flip the switch, bro. What the fuck? Like,
that's good.
Go sit in the grass or some shit. Yeah. But yeah, and then yeah, just little things like that. And I think it's empowering to take a step back and be like, at my happiest, I was doing these things, and then just try and re-implement them. But I mean, I'm no expert. I just like to do that, and then you kind of build a little list of things that you can come back to when shit's going hard.
That's quite interesting. Yeah, no, I'll definitely have to try that then.
Yeah.
It also talks about like how the house is balanced. So all of those things are essentially balanced in life. And then when one kind of has a crack in the wall, the whole house kind of falls over. So if one of those areas in particular are not coping so well or not doing so well, then generally most of the others will probably not do as well.
Right.
And it's just finding that balance of all of the walls.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's good to just put like different things that help in those particular walls. So when you can see it, like you can just be like, oh, yep. Like eating healthy is one big one for me. You know, connecting with whānau, calling family members or friends, just checking in with them, just talk about what's going on. Connecting with nature for sure, big one. Because I think people need time for themselves as well, just to process life.
Sure.
And yeah, bro, look up the model though, because it's so handy, I find. And then you might find something new that might be helpful for you. And it's all about like trying to find those things that are helpful for you, because we're all different people and we all find things that work for us and don't work for us, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Yeah, no, I'll definitely check it out. I appreciate that.
All good. Yeah, and I think the powerful thing about that is like you're in control of it too. There's 4 quadrants, bro. You don't even have to use it as a whare or whatever. You just like, yo, those are my 4 spaces I'm gonna work on. But yo, bro, I just got like lost for words, bro. Ethan, do you have any extra questions or anything, or should we
Yeah, I've got what's next, bro? What's next for Skip the Boat or for yourself?
There's a lot. A lot. I've got a million ideas that I just can't wait to execute. I don't know where to start, to be honest. So on the clothing side of things, a lot of exciting drops coming out. There's another little charity thing where I kind of want to take it to the next level and kind of be a lot more hands-on with the charity itself instead of just sending X amount of dollars their way. So I'm looking to kind of get that set up hopefully in the coming few months. Event side, I can't wait to be back to throwing events. It's been tough with like this lockdown, and I've just kind of been itching to kind of get back out there and just throw these gigs. And I really want to push that and kind of push it outside of like the norm now as well. I feel like so many gigs and stuff feel like they have to be restricted inside of a standard venue and stuff, but I kind of want to see how far I can push those boundaries with a bunch of ideas. But just to continue, keep on spreading positivity, inspire others, and keep telling my story, I guess. That's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting stuff, man.
I'm excited. I really am.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's a question I had is like, how do you, I guess, decide or choose like particular charities for your drops and stuff?
Yeah. With the Hope one, I actually put up a poll on my story before I did that drop. And I tried to get as much feedback from people to see what kind of mental health charities that they think are truly making a change. And then I collected all those names, went through them all, did some research to kind of find I Am Hope to kind of be the one that I felt was the best fit. And then with the Make-A-Wish one, it just fits so well with this idea of I hope your dreams come true, trying to give, these kids a chance to live their dreams as well. It was just kind of perfect. But yeah.
And then you have Save Palestine, eh?
Yeah, that one was for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund, and that was to raise money all for the kids over there. And that one was to find that charity. It was a lot of research, because I didn't want to jump into creating a t-shirt or anything without doing the appropriate research. And I wasn't fully educated on the stuff going on at first. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to do any, like, I don't want to jump into it blindly. So I was like, if I'm doing it, I want to do it right. So I actually have a friend that was very well connected with the stuff that's happening there. So I spoke to her, and then I just read a bunch of stuff, watched a bunch of videos. I made sure that what I was doing was right, and it wasn't just done for the sake of doing it, you know. And I think that's so important. So I picked that charity because I just felt like it was the best charity to kind of contribute towards, and everyone seemed quite happy to help with that as well, which was awesome.
That's epic. I'm interested, bro, because I'm always real interested in people, like how they were as kids and how it's carried through as adults. So, bro, like, tell us a bit about, I guess, your childhood. How would you describe yourself as a kid? Like,
I was a very shy kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very shy. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was just like, I was into football. I was always into football. That was like my big thing, and that was kind of like my like escape, where I would just be kicking a ball around, or I'd be so focused on like anything football. But yeah, no, I was very shy when I was a kid, and then at some point it just flipped, and I was like, nah, I love speaking to people. I love like meeting new people. Like it's fun. It's cool because I feel like everyone's got a story to tell, and if you go your whole life without speaking to people, then you know you're missing out on all these incredible stories. So yeah, I don't know when it flipped, but it flipped at a point where I was like, nah, like what am I doing? Like, you know, I want to speak to people. I want to know their story. Yeah, as a kid, I was very shy. Yeah.
Do you think, bro? Because I don't know, I'm just getting this vibe from you. I know we've never met in real life, but I think you saying you're a shy kid, did that kind of allow you to take a step back and kind of look at the world and see it through like a different lens, bro? Like,
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I just get that vibe from you, and it feels like you're quite compassionate. Yeah, like, is that something that you think you've been able to do?
I never thought about it like that, but the more you say it, like, okay, like I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I guess it was a lot more like, all right, I was in my own thoughts. You know, it was more just kind of trying to understand instead of just boom, boom, being so involved. And then, yeah, I guess when you finally take that step to kind of be more involved, you kind of already have this kind of understanding where you've kind of already taken that chance to just step back and kind of just take things in. Yeah, no, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm getting a sense, bro, like with Christian bringing it up, that you're like more of a, or it sounds like you're more of an observer. Because that's, for me anyway, I was like growing up, I'd be considered as a shy kid, but the way I guess my mum usually puts it is that I'm more of an observer. Like I just observe the situation before like speaking up or talking. Just, you know, kind of get a bit of a gauge about what's going on.
For sure.
So yeah, that's how I see shy kids, is more of observers.
Observers, yeah.
Just observing the situation.
I was a dick growing up, bro.
You still are, bro.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. No, I think being the youngest of 7, bro, like, I don't know.
Of 7?
Yeah, bro. I like had this chip on my shoulder, bro. I felt like I had to be like a dog, bro. Just fucking like. But then I think, I don't know, it took me a while, but I think mum definitely rubbed off on me like crazy, bro. Like, she's the most empathetic person like in the world, bro. Like, yeah. So I think that's really developed, and the more I've been true to myself, the more that's come out.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I took a while to be true to myself. I'd say I've said to a lot of the boys, it wasn't until like year 11, bro, until I stopped being an asshole. Like, I don't know. When did you see your biggest growth, bro? And you, like, at what age?
I'd say uni. Yeah. I think those, yeah, I would say first year uni was kind of big. Yeah, it was away from home. Kind of like more where I had to kind of put myself out there and kind of discover myself in a sense. So yeah, I think there was a big change from at that point where I don't know, it's just like when you're kind of put into a like environment that you're not used to, you kind of force yourself to kind of grow. And you know, when I was picking unis, I could have gone to Auckland or Palmerston North. I purposely picked Palmerston North because I knew that I didn't know anyone there. I've never been there. So by willingly putting myself out there, and I'm like, all right, now I have to actually step outside my comfort zone. I have to go meet people. I have to make friends. I think that helped a lot instead of taking the easy option of going to Auckland where I already know everyone and like, hey, you know, because at that point there's no growth. But by being out there, I kind of push myself to grow, I guess.
Yeah, mad respect, bro. Putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation, unknowing situation
gem,
too.
That's another gem right there, right? That idea.
100%.
Spoke about it heaps. The idea of seeking discomfort, stepping out of your comfort zone. Like, you know, the worst. What kills success, bro, is just sitting in like this
stagnant.
Yeah, stagnant. Bro,
that terrifies me. Yeah, like I never want to get to a point in my life where I'm just content. You know, I feel like that's scary to me, of just being stuck in a comfort zone where every day is the exact same. Like, that's terrifying.
No. But I'm interested, would you have like always considered yourself a creative, like growing up? Or is it just something you've recently been able to express? Or
I used to video edit ever since like year 9 in high school. Yeah, I would edit like video game footage. And it was super like nerdy at the time, but I'm self-taught, and you know, I'm 10 years of just video editing, which is so important. And that kind of helped me a lot. And that sparked so much stuff in me, like business stuff as well, because you know, with this editing stuff, you kind of have to know how to present yourself. And there was like editing teams, and so it was kind of like this whole community of people that were doing stuff. And being in there around so many creative people, graphic designers and all this kind of stuff, it just sparked so much creativity to always create. So I think that's kind of what sparked my creativity, and I'm glad it did, because I love it. Yeah, and that skill is so important. I feel like people pay so much for like video editors now, but being able to create what I want, and create it the way I want, because I feel like at the end of the day, you're the only person that knows exactly what you want for your vision. Like, you can try to express it to someone, but it's never going to come out the way that you envision it. But yeah,
I love that, bro. And again, it's another way for you to express yourself. Hey,
100%.
Yeah, you make these things that you totally vibe with, and they're just true things of yourself, you know.
For sure, for sure.
That's mean as. How was high school for you, bro?
High school was shit, to be honest.
Do you want to give a shout out to shit high school? No,
no.
Better not.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just wasn't a fan of it. Like, I was so deep into like my video editing that I didn't care. So, you know, I would go to school to play football, and that was kind of like my motive. And I didn't pass NCAA level 3 because I was so caught up in my video editing. At that point, I was like, all right, I don't care. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I made like 20 grand in high school just from video editing. And yeah, like it barely sounds like anything now, but like at the time, I was like, you know, I guess it would be quite a lot. But but like, I was young, so I spent it all on like video games and like food and stupid shit.
As you do.
Yeah. But no, I was so invested in that, and I was so set where I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a video editor. That's what I want to do. I want to go to like school for this. I want to study this. And then I think it was just the people around me that were like, oh, there's no jobs in that. And then I kind of got put off by it. Which, I don't know, I feel like I didn't have to go to school for that anyway. Like, you know, I was self-taught for like at that point 5 years, and I knew how to video edit, you know. So going to school for it would have only been to kind of learn, I guess, the more industry side of things, which I was never interested in anyway. Like, I don't want to like edit TV commercials or TV shows. I wanted to edit cool stuff, like people spinning in a Call of Duty game, or like skateboarding clips or something. Like, I wanted to add a bunch of effects to it and make it look real cool. Like, that's what I was passionate about. Yeah,
that's cool as, bro. I'm interested to hear what advice you'd give to yourself back at high school if you found it hard? Like, yeah. Well, you did find it hard.
The advice I'd give to myself, like, it's always tough because, like, I think everything happens for a reason. So I don't want to say like change anything I did, because like it led me to where I am. And I don't know, like if I didn't video edit and I focused more on school, if I'd be like an accountant or fucking, I don't know, some shit like that. But I mean, I guess it would just be like, don't worry, like, you know, it's gonna work out eventually. You know, because I guess there was a lot of uncertainty where I was like, all right, like, what am I actually gonna do? Because like, is video editing really viable like that? Or like, am I just like leading myself into a trap? You know, and everyone was gonna go to uni and study fancy stuff, and I just wanted to edit footage at home. I was like, is this really what I'm gonna do? But yeah, it would just be, yeah, like don't stress too much. Like, it's fine. Like, it's gonna all figure itself out, and that's exactly what it did. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I wouldn't change anything about it. It would just be, like, don't stress so much, man. It's gonna be fine. Yeah.
That's so important as well for like the kids coming through, bro. Like, I think it's so unfair at the age of 18 or like 17 in some cases. We're making decisions that will impact almost the rest of our
life decisions.
That's scary. Bro. Yeah, it's like, what do you know at 18? Like, bro,
you're still
like,
a kid, man. Come on.
And you change so much from that time, like from 18 to like, I don't know, 25. Like like you're just changing so much. Like, the idea that you have when you're 18 isn't going to be the same you as you at like 24. So
that's so true. Bro, you mentioned, you know, high school was like pretty bad. I guess just for clarification, what didn't you like about high school?
I didn't like doing the work, to be honest. I'm being honest.
Fair enough. Who does?
I was passionate about geography. I found that real fun. Yeah, because I think the world's so interesting, and I love like space and stuff. So there was a space class which I enjoyed heaps. But I didn't care for like algebra and shit, man. Like, I don't do any of that stuff now.
Nobody likes maths.
Yeah, like, I don't know, it just wasn't like, it's just this idea of having to go to a classroom and like learn that, when I knew that I wasn't gonna really ever use it. And I know some people need to learn that because what they want to do like uses that, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna live a life where I'm having to use this on a daily basis. Like, I'm just not gonna do that. Like, that's not what I want to do. It's just not. So it was that, and yeah, it was mainly like the work. Everything else was fine. There was just cool people at my high school. I had a cool, like, very small group of friends. It's not, I was not popular at all. I was probably, one of the least popular kids in high school. But like, I would just play football, and that was my thing. And I loved doing that. That's what I would kind of like look forward to when I would go to school. I would take my ball, and every lunch we'd all just play football, and that would kind of be like, yo, sweet, it was a good day. Yeah.
What would you say about your... Oh, sorry, go, Ethan.
I was just gonna say, how come you would consider yourself like the least popular?
I just didn't really fuck with anyone, to be honest. I just kind of stayed. I mean, it was tough because everyone was kind of like, so like, this is a big thing. So like, everyone was like into like drinking and stuff and partying. And I don't drink just from like personal choice, because I always thought that shit was whack.
I don't drink either, bro.
Oh, real?
Yeah.
Yo, see, I
did not.
Yeah, Christian does, but I don't.
Yeah, no, it was just always because like I felt like everyone felt like you had to drink to kind of fit in with everyone. And I hated that idea. I was like, well, why do you have to drink to kind of like, it just annoyed me so much. And I don't want to like give into peer pressure to like drink to be cool. Like, you know, I don't care, because like the way I see it is everyone that was cool in high school is kind of at a point in their life now where it's flipped. You know what I mean? Like,
cool anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't last. Like, there's no like
peak.
Like,
it's true though. Like,
yeah. So I mean, if you're in high school now, like, don't worry. Like, that's not how life really is. Like, it changes. But yeah, I mean, I didn't go to a single party in high school. I've never drank, so I just didn't. It just wasn't anything that's interested to me. Like I don't like the idea of just like for what reason, like I want to have control of what I'm doing. I want to remember what I'm doing. So I guess that was a big reason why I just didn't really fit in with the rest of the people, since a lot of them were kind of just partying, drinking. And I was just like, nah, I'm not passionate about that. I just want to go home and edit, or I just want to go play football. I want to kick a ball around. But yeah.
What did that mean for the friends that you did have though? Was it like quite strong connection with those friends? Would you say you've still got them now and they're like ride or die kind of thing?
Like my high school friends?
Yeah. The ones that you're close with.
I wouldn't say I'm like talking to them every day. I'm still close with a few of them, and I catch up with them every now and then. Just not a whole lot. I mean, I guess that's just kind of what happens over time. People kind of go their own ways and stuff. It's not like there's any bad blood or anything. Like I'm cool with all of them, and if I see them, I'll say what's up, or if they say, "Yo, do you want to hang out?" Like, yeah, of course. I haven't seen you in a long time. Like, I'm keen to catch up. But I wouldn't say I'm like super like best friends with any of them, but they're still good friends of mine. And anytime I do see them, it's always a vibe, and I'm grateful for that. It's just, as time goes on, you kind of lose contact with people, and everyone's kind of doing their own thing. But even in general, at this point in my life, I'm so busy where I'll maybe hang out with my friends once a month if I'm lucky, and I'm trying to make more time for them because it's important. But yeah, there's just a lot of shit going on, and I'm trying to keep up with it as the best I can. But true friends understand that, and they respect that. Anytime I go catch up with my friends, they'll be like, "Yo, it's like we've always been in touch anyway." So.
No, that's so true. And I think it's a golden nugget, like you mentioned earlier as well, like not following the crowd and staying true to yourself. I think that's really important. Like, you mentioned, drinking and partying is not your thing. And, for others it is, but, if you stick to yourself, you'll have the right people around you, and just stick in there and don't kind of give in to that peer pressure. And like you said, the people who were drinking and partying, they reached their peak at like high school, and now look at you like freaking all the way up here now with your business, and just I think you're quite a successful person.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You just stay true to yourself and don't give in to peer pressure, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like when I went to uni, I definitely started to I guess party a lot more, go to flat parties and clubs and stuff. But I stuck to the whole idea of not drinking, and my friends there were calm with it, you know what I mean? Like they all know that I don't drink, and then they're fine with that, and we'll still go out and have a good time. And I believe you don't need to drink to have a good time out in town or whatever. Like you can go out there and still enjoy yourself.
Respect to that. I agree.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, I can still go out there and have a good time. And I mean, I throw these events all the time, and I'm always completely sober at them, and I love it, and I'm still having an awesome time. So can't complain about that. Yeah.
I think on drinking though, like I found I definitely like my drinking at times is gotten really bad, and I think I've definitely used it as an escape. So I think, I don't know, my advice to people would be like, look out for those friends, bro. Watch out for them, man, because fuck, like it's only been recently that I've kind of discovered, like, I mean, I went through a bit of detox periods. I think 20 was one of them. Stopped like drugs, stopped alcohol completely for like a year, and that was good for me. But then I went full-fledged back into it, bro, and just like fucking ruined myself. And it hasn't been till recently that I've kind of like stepped back from that and discovered what you guys are talking about. Like, you don't have to be drunk to have fun, bro. And like, yeah, I don't know, bro. I just wanted to throw that in there because I think, it's definitely worrying at times.
Definitely. I mean, like, to each your own. Like, if you drink, that's cool. But I think, making sure that you're safe at the end of the day is the important thing. And having the right kind of crowd around you that are going to take care of you and tell you if something is up is so important. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to look out for each other. No
Definitely.
peer pressuring each other. You know, if you like to drink, you like to drink. If you don't, you
Yeah,
don't,
exactly.
and we just have to respect it at the end of the day.
And I think what a lot of people don't or refuse to understand or kind of realize is it's a depressant, bro. Like you drink, you're gonna
Huge
feel like
depressant.
shit the next day. Like
Yeah.
like no doubt. Like even if you say you wake up feeling mean, like you're gonna feel shit. Like is yeah.
Yeah, that's
Don't try and
one
kid
thing
yourself, bro.
I never really understood. Like, because I have drunk. Like, I'm not saying I've never drunk in my life. And I think got drunk or wasted like twice or three times. And the next day, bro, those were like the 3 worst days of my life. I could just remember like how like I was just sitting on the couch for the whole day, have a massive headache, like feeling real sluggish. And I was like, how do people do this like every weekend? Like, I just feel so blah. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. Some people be doing that like twice a week. You know what I mean?
I know Saturday,
used to
Sunday,
do that.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, bro.
Yeah.
It's
I used
to
crazy.
do that like
how do you
4
guys
or 5
survive?
times a week. But that was an escape, bro, and that was yeah. It's funny now that I look back at it, but it was. But I was at a fucking hard time, and I was just like, yo, what can I do now? Go drink. And then it's almost a form of self-harm, bro. I was gonna
I
say this
think it
to
is.
Paul last night. Working out for me has been a form of self-harm at times. Drinking has been a form of self-harm. Like, I fucking run myself into the ground many times, bro. And you gotta stop yourself when you're on that landslide and be like, nah, this is not on. Like, go back to the basics. Start again, bro. Like, know what makes you feel good and go back to it, man. Like I can't say that enough. Like
Definitely. Now people use it as a coping mechanism, eh? Like just to be able to cope with what's going on. And fun, yeah, I mean not funnily enough, but it is interesting that
I was like, Ethan. No,
it's not funny, guys. Please don't get me wrong, but like exercise can actually be a form of self-harm, like excessive exercise and not like getting the right amount of sleep or the right amount of food. Like if you could work out for 4 hours, and I mean most cases that's not healthy unless you're a bodybuilder and have all those calories in there. But like, you know, if you're not eating and you're doing all this exercise, it's actually cannot be healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you acknowledge that, Christian, because I don't think a lot of people realize that exercise can actually be a form of self-harm. Or excessive exercise anyway.
Yeah. And it's kind of with like everything to a point, you know. It's important about, you know, that moderation in anything you do, because otherwise it can turn bad, you know. Anything, whether it's like your work, like you're just way too invested, that's very harmful to you as well, you know. But yeah, no, the fact that you pointed that out, exercise, it's good.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, yo, you're doing mean, good job. I'm like, no, I'm doing this because I hate myself. No, not now, not currently. I mean, in the past. That's what I was doing.
I had a question, Herman, just around like your tattoos, bro. I see you got quite a few. What do they mean to you? Because I know that smiley face with the no eyes has quite a big meaning, but what about your other ones, bro? Is there others that have?
Sure. Where do I start? So this X here is because I don't drink. I got it after first year of uni, because I said if I don't drink in first year, I won't drink my whole life, because I feel like that's kind of when you're peer pressured the most. It's kind of like in America where they put an X on your hand if you're under 21, you can't drink it, but I put it there. Scorpion, honestly, I just woke up a day and I was like, yo, I want to get a scorpion. So there's no real meaning behind that. The diamond I got with all my mates at uni, because our big thing was pressure makes diamonds, and there was an assignment week. We had 3 things due and we had 2 days to do it. And I was like, guys, if somehow we pass all these assignments, we'll all go get diamond tattoos. So then on my mate's birthday, we all went and got diamond tattoos. Honestly, a lot of them don't really have much meaning. If I'm like,
fair enough, bro. That's all good.
I'm not the biggest fan of tattoos, and I don't know why I have them. I feel like with everything I do, like if I start it, I feel like I need to finish it, and it's a terrible like mentality to have at times, because I got one, I'm like, yo, shit, like there's all this empty space. Like I need to put something here. I need to put something here. And I just get carried away with it. But I haven't had one in like 2 years. So I'm quite happy about that. But like there's still some space here that's kind of annoying, where I'm just like, okay, I need to add something there. but a lot of them don't really have much of a meaning. This one I got for Juice WRLD when he passed. It says 999 on a broken heart. It's the whole thing about like perspective, like 999 turning anything bad into something good. That's in a broken heart because of the breakup, and then I did skip the boat, and I was like, yo, that's sick. But yeah, but any advice for kids? I just said don't get tats, like they're pointless. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm not really one to be able to say. So do what you want, I guess. I mean, it's just art. You know what I mean? It's art.
I kind of vibe with what you were saying about like when you start something, you got to finish it. Like, bro, I do that so often. Like, I have a real addictive personality, I'd say, and yeah, I think that's probably a key thing as well. Like, don't start something unless you truly want to finish it, bro.
That's true. For sure.
If you're like that, if you're similar to us, like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
But anyway, I'm real thankful that you've come on tonight, bro. Honestly, you've got so much wisdom, bro, and I fucking appreciate that. Like,
yeah, so do I, man.
Bro, we're all. Oh, are you 24 now, Ethan?
I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say we're all 23
for a month.
here.
For a month. I'm very freshly 24.
I think 23 is just the best age, bro. Like,
bro, I
agree.
actually think it is, bro. Straight up, I love my being 23. I don't like being 24 anymore. Let me join that club again.
But yeah, nah. Again, huge thank you, bro. Epic having you. I just want to ask you if you have like any final thoughts that you want to leave us with, or anything like that.
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Yeah. Firstly, I just want to thank you guys for having me on here. It's been awesome. And I appreciate that a lot. Words of wisdom, geez, just chase your dreams, man. To do what you love. Like, if you work hard enough at it, I promise, like, you can turn it into something special. Stay consistent with it. There's not many people that I know that are like consistently doing something for 10 years and they don't get somewhere. Like, it'll happen, you know what I mean? And it may seem like you're not making a bunch of progress right away, and that's fine. But if you're putting in the hours and you're doing the work, it will pay off. Yeah, it's just like having that faith that it's going to pay off. But biggest thing, just chase your dreams, man. Like, for real, like, I hope all your dreams come true. It's as simple as that. Like, chase your dreams. Like, yeah.
Love that, bro.
What a powerful message. Yeah, and then, honestly, really do appreciate your time, because yeah, we could imagine it would be very busy for you as a business
Especially
owner
at the
and
moment.
yeah, brand. It sounds very stressful. I mean, you were telling us the other day that you had like 1,000 t-shirt orders.
Yeah, it's hectic.
Had to get the whole family involved. So yeah, honestly, really appreciate your time, and go support Skip the Boat. Give them a follow, give them a like, and buy a t-shirt. Yeah, it's awesome stuff what you're doing.
Appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. Honestly, appreciate it.
Alright, shall we stop recording now?
Yep.
Later, boys.
Yeah.